Morning, children. So we are discussing about nutrition in plants. Yesterday I stopped near the discussion of herbarium. What is meant by this herbarium? Preservation of plants is called as a herbarium. As we preserve the pickles, as we preserve the food items, in the same way we are preserving even the plants also. In which way we are preserving the plants? So some plants are adjustable for some climatic conditions and some plants are adjustable for some climatic conditions. Okay, if you are taking aloe vera, cashews, cactus, such type of plants, they are adjustable in the desert areas. Some are in cool places like apple. Okay, so apple means where we will get in Kashmir. Okay, cactus means where we will get in desert like Rajasthan or some other places. Now I want to take this apple plant and sow that one in the Rajasthan, and I like to take this cactus and place that in Kashmir. So there are two different weather conditions. There the temperature is very cool. Here the temperature is very hot. So according to the temperatures also, the plants cannot survive. So what I am going to do means in my laboratory, okay, I am having both the plants. I am preserving both the plants. Why I am preserving both the plants means I want to show that the species, if any of the plant species is reducing, for suppose, what we will do, we will preserve them. Why? Because to the further generation, if you want to say what is such a type of what is this plant means, if you are not getting, we are going to again preserve and cultivate them. And when I am bringing at a low pressure area the plant and high pressure area the plants, what I will do means in my laboratory I will give the weather condition for them and I will place them in that situations. So they will grow. This is called as preservation of plants and this is called as a herbarium. Got the point here? So, yesterday we discussed about that point about herbarium and preservation and I stopped the topic. Today we are going with, can you tell by looking at the figure where starch is present and where it is not present? Where the starch will be present? Where the green color substance is present for the plant? Okay, the leaves, stems or whatever it may be, there we can say that the starch is present to the food. Then did the entire leaf get light after it was covered with black paper? If I cover the leaf with black paper, did the sunlight was taken by full leaf? No. Yes, then if this was not the case, which part of the leaf did not get the light? Which part of the leaf did not get the light? Where the leaf was covered with the black paper, there it did not get the light and there the absence of chlorophyll will be present and in that particular place the plants cannot prepare the food. Got the point? And where it can get the sunlight and where it is green means where this black paper was not placed at that particular places, the leaves absorb the sunlight and they will prepare the food. Got the point? And did starch from only in those parts that got light? Yes. Where the starch will be present, where the light is present, there only the starch will be present. Where the light is absent, there the starch will not be prepared or formed. Okay. On the basis of this experiment, what connection do you see between light and starch formation? So, if a starch must be formed, means sunlight is compulsory. If the photosynthesis process, in this photosynthesis process, what the plants are doing, they are giving us oxygen and they are preparing their own food by themselves, we told. So, if in this four components, air, water, sunlight and chlorophyll, in this one component is absent also, if there is an absence of one component in this, then what will happen? The plants cannot prepare their food. Got the point? So, in this four components, he is asking, is the sunlight necessary for the plants to prepare food? Yes. Is there any relation between sunlight and starch? Yes. If the sunlight is present only, the starch will be prepared. Got the answers? Then do plants produce only starch? Do plants produce only starch? No, the plants not only producing starch, they are giving us water. Water is also produced and even air is also produced. Some macronutrients are also produced from that one. What are those? In the chapter of our food, we read that starch, fat and proteins. Did you remember? Test for starch, test for fats and test for proteins. Test for starch, yesterday only I told for you. We can take any carbohydrate food and if you add iodine solution, what will happen? The iodine solution, when we add iodine, it changes to black or blue in color. If we take a fat content substance, what we will say that the normal paper will convert into translucent paper. If the paper turns to translucent, showing that that particular food consists of fats. Next one, what are proteins? Test for proteins, what we did, we took any protein food item like milk, dal, egg, anything you can take. And what are the things you have to? Copper sulfide solution and sodium hydroxide solution. When we mix sodium hydroxide solution and copper sulfide solution in proteins, what will happen to the protein? The protein will be converted into violet or purple color, showing that proteins are present in it. Immediately the solution, if the solution turns to violet or purple color, that particular food substance contains proteins we discussed about fats, about proteins and about starch. So they are also present in plants. Where do these substances come from? Plants produce sugar first. Yesterday itself I told glucose, C6H12O6. Okay, that is the glucose, and which is converted to starch and then other compounds as well. But plants need other nutrients also, not only starch, they also should require vitamins and minerals. For our body, we told all the components are necessary. What are all the components? Only carbohydrate, proteins and fats? No, vitamins and the minerals are necessary. With this, roughages are necessary. What are roughages? Dietary fibers are necessary. With this, the last and final one, water is also very important for the human beings. Is it correct or not? Like that, even plants also require carbohydrates, proteins, fats and the vitamins and the minerals. Got the point? So, the main nutrients needed for the plant are, the main nutrients, see here, what are the nutrients required for the plant are nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Macronutrients. Macro means very large. Micro means very small. Macro in large quantities, very big. Micro, which is in very small quantities. So in large quantities, the plants require the nutrients are nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus. Got the point? And plants plants require many other nutrient elements as well, but these are needed only in minute quantities, means in very less quantities. Hence they are called as micronutrients. What we will say them as micronutrients. Plants absorb these nutrient elements from the soil through their roots. So that carbohydrates, proteins and fats are more, and here these are comes under micronutrients. Nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus are in very little quantities, but it is a must. These nutrients are also must. Unfortunately, at this stage, we cannot perform any experiment to study these nutrients. Means if you want to know more further about this, you will learn in higher classes. Plants that grow on other plants. Now, yesterday I told for you, what is that? Autotrophs. Autotrophs means which can prepare their own food by themselves are called as autotrophs. Now we are going to tell about the heterotrophs. Okay? What is this heterotrophs? The plants which depend on other plant. What is that? The plant which depend on the plants which are not having chlorophyll, which are not green in color, they depend on green color plants. We can see yellow thread like structures. When we see you go to more number of like forest areas or fields or somewhere, if you are going, you can see to the trees like creepers like that, yellow thread like structures will roll on that one. What are these yellow thread like structures? They are also some sort of plants, but excuse me, they cannot prepare their own food by themselves. They will depend on these plants. Such a type of the plants which depend on other plants, green color plants for their food are called heterotrophs, and that particular plants names are called as parasitic plants. What we will say them as? Parasitic plants. Parasitic plant. Example is Cuscuta. Parasitic plant example is Cuscuta. This only the yellow thread like structure. The plants which depend on other plants are called heterotrophs. Why they are depending on other plants? Because they don't have a chlorophyll and they cannot prepare the food. Such type of plants are called parasitic plants, and this parasitic plants depend on example is Cuscuta, and these are also called as host, means the plants on which they depend are called as, that plants are called host plants, means they are giving support to this parasitic plant. Okay, now see here the thread like structure, okay, is the thread like plant is called, what is the name of thread like plant? Cuscuta. Cuscuta. It neither has leaves nor chlorophyll, means such a type of plants do not have any leaves. They do not even have chlorophyll. How they will be? Yellow thread like structures. Only like creepers they will move. How do they survive? From where do they get nutrition? Cuscuta takes food from the plant on which it is climbing. Just now I told you, on which it is climbing, there it will take the food from such type of, like humans and animals. What are we? We depend on plants and animals for our food. So like humans and animals, such plants depend on the food produced by other plants. This mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition, means the plants which depend on other plants for the sake of food are called as heterotrophs, and they are taking the nutrients from that plant, so we are telling that as heterotrophic nutrition. And parasitic plants develop special roots. These parasitic plants also will have roots. They are called as hostria. What are the roots known as hostria? Now how the main plants will have roots, these parasitic plants also like Cuscuta also will have roots. They are called as hostria. Okay, and which penetrate into the tissue of the host plant. Host plant means what I told, which is giving support to this parasitic plant. To this parasitic plant which is giving support is called as a host plant. When these roots are penetrating into this only, this root also will go. Cuscuta's root also will join with this host plant and two roots will be together. So when the nutrients are taken from this host plant, even this Cuscuta also will get the, or parasitic plants also will get the nutrients. Got the point? And the roots are called as hostria, and which penetrates into the tissue of host plant and absorb food materials from them. Got the point? This answer is very, very important. What are heterotrophs? Which depend on other plants for food. Okay, such type of plants are called parasitic plant. These parasitic plants depend on host plant. Host plant contains chlorophyll and they can prepare their own food by themselves. But these parasitic plants do not have green color substance and they do not have leaves. So they will depend on this host plant. Example of parasitic plant is Cuscuta. And what will happen to this parasitic plant means they have roots. Okay, that roots are named as hostria. And these roots, where they will be present? They will be mixed with this host plant. When these two roots are mixed together, when this host plant is getting the food materials and nutrients from the soil, even this hostrias also will take the food materials from this, and that will be taken and they will have, these parasitic plants will have life. Did you understand? Tomorrow I will discuss about insectivorous plants, which is very important. What are the different examples when I am giving for you about insectivorous plants? It will be very interesting how they will trap the food and all. Tomorrow I will discuss. Thank you.